And welcome back to Weather Nation. We're talking about the tropics, and we have activity out there as we continue through the peak of hurricane season.
Yeah, things are looking active out across the tropics. We're tracking several areas of possible development and a low currently forming out over parts of the Atlantic. So let's get you a closer look at what we're talking about out there right now, because it is a pretty busy picture. We have a 70% chance of development with this system here. This wouldn't be an impact to us over land, going to stay out to sea, but we'll keep a close eye on this system pushing off the coast of Africa with about a 60% chance of development into our next named storm. We have a tropical depression 11 forming very close to parts of the Caribbean, and we're keeping a close eye on this area of development near Bermuda, because this is actually pretty interesting. The leftovers here from Florence trying to reform. They have a 30% chance to do so over the next 5 days, so it's looking a very low likelihood that that is going to become our next named system. And even if it does reform, it's not going to look anything like Florence did, but it does have the potential to make some impact right back to the same locations that Florence hit last time out over the Carolinas. So we're watching that extended outlook, and by about Wednesday of next week has that potential to be impacting the Carolinas. Again, I want to stress it's not going to look anything like Florence did, but we are still going to keep a close eye on it as we move forward, because of course any rain heading to the Carolinas right now is going to be of concern to us. Now, Tropical Depression 11, something we're going to watch with some impacts to the leeward and windward islands here moving through the next few days. Now, this is expected to dissipate here as we move forward within the next couple of afternoons. We're not expecting this to strengthen much, but it could still bring some increased tropical moisture to parts of the Caribbean, including the leeward and windward islands, the Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico as it passes south of the area. Another spot we're watching, some development off of the coast of Mexico, about a 50% chance to develop into our next named Pacific system here within the next 5 days. Of course, still right around that peak of hurricane season, so we are expecting to continue to watch an active tropics. But today also marks the first day of fall, a lot of people's favorite season. Marcus, are you ready for it?
Yes, I am ready for it, and I've seen some amazing photos already across the Rockies of just the beautiful colors out there.
Yeah, the colors really starting to pop, and our producer Alex, he wanted us to mention to everyone, despite what you might have heard with the pumpkin spice latte being released, I think about a month ago, today is the first day that you can officially get it, and it's allowed.
Now, I do have a quick, wait, what is a pumpkin spice latte?
Go home.
Exactly, no, I'm joking. I know exactly what
everyone
that is.
knows what it is.
And yes, but I know a lot of people love it. It makes them feel like it's fall, and officially fall starts today, officially later on today, but hey, it's the first day of fall to me, and I'm sure for a lot of folks out there. But let's talk about what else is happening in terms of those fall colors. And again, we have pictures out of Steamboat Springs, Colorado, just beautiful pictures on Friday. More pictures out of Purgatory, the resort across western parts of Colorado, near Durango, Colorado, exactly. And we're talking about just these beautiful colors being out there. Arapahoe Basin of Colorado dealing with just beautiful conditions. They're testing out some of the water cannons, getting ready for snowmaking season as the ski resorts get closer and closer to that time of year when they get ready to open and cater to all of the ski fans out there. Now, when we talk about fall, officially it will occur later on today, right around 9:54 Eastern Daylight Time, and we're talking about equal times daylight and equal time nighttime. So we are at the equinox, and when we look at the map, that happens typically at the beginning of fall, which is September 22nd to 23rd any given year. And then the next equinox will happen as we're heading to spring, and that's March 20th to the 21st typically. Now, as we talk about what else is happening, we want to show you the maps of fall foliage where you can see best viewing for it, for example. And we're noticing that this time of year in late September, we're noticing partial fall foliage across parts of the Northeast and into the upper Midwest and even across the Colorado Rockies. And we showed you some of those beautiful pictures out of the Rockies. But as we talk about wet weather that could impact you, if you're planning to be out looking at fall foliage in the upper Midwest and Northeast, things should be a lot quieter. But farther south across the Mid-Atlantic, into parts of the South and Southeast even, we're dealing with more rain, and we're also dealing with warmth out there. So here's a look at today's highs: 64 degrees in Minneapolis, 63 in Chicago, 63 in Detroit as well, and 67 in Cincinnati. And when we look at Sunday, we're still dealing with wet weather across parts of the South, potentially some flooding rains continuing for Arkansas, but the temperature's not terrible across the eastern U.S. We'll be talking more about what you can expect for this fall and for today's weather all day. And as always, you can watch us here or find us on Amazon Fire TV.